and welcome back to the best thing you watched this week. We've got Chris from Movies and Munchies, myself, Ruben from the Ruby Tuesday, a podcast/video cast where we talk about the best things that we watch. And some weeks it's harder to choose because some weeks content that we watch hasn't been particularly great, so we choose the best things that we've seen from that lot and just hope that somebody else agrees with us that it's been that sort of week. But in the audio podcast, we also have an exclusive review. So you'll get all of this video stuff in the audio, but you'll also get an exclusive review and entertainment news and what we're looking forward to in that coming week. We also have the Bearded Ones Patreon, where we have a cornucopia of videos on there at the moment, as well as different tiers where you can ask us things like, can you review a TV series? Join one of those and you can ask us, even so much so far as a God mode where you can appear with us on a video. If that's something you want to do, we have a couple of patrons at the moment and we're really enjoying kind of communicating what's going on there. It helps just kind of provide a little bit of what we do here creatively and possibly getting together one day again, seeing each other, doing some videos together, hanging out, and then we put a bunch of creative videos online that way. We did that once before. You can check the backlog on our channel. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Ruben. How are you today?
Getting there. It's been a week.
Yeah. This actually was a slower week for viewing. There wasn't as much content. And then looking ahead to next week, which is I don't understand the release schedules at all. Next week is absolutely packed. But
yeah, I can say with my hand in my heart that I probably won't watch most of next week's stuff. Like, there's just so much. It's so overwhelming. I'd be like, I'll choose that one and maybe another one.
Yeah, there is a lot coming. So, and this week though, it made it a little difficult for me. I don't know about you, but for me, it was kind of hard to have things that truly were awesome. Yeah, within there. So
100% agreed. Who won the movie quiz, Chris, last week?
Nobody. Apparently, I was too difficult.
I'm telling you, that firing's coming.
I know. I see it looming there. Well, Elijah Talbot, though, got one. And okay. I love it. I love it because he didn't give the movie title, but he answered with a quote from that scene in the movie, showing that he does know what movie it's from. So
I would dare you with the title. I'll just show you the quote.
Exactly.
Another quote.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
So it was good. Okay, so the answers for everybody who may want to know from last week. The first one was from 1974. It's one of my absolute favorite movies. It's called What's Up, Doc? It's with Barbara Streisand and Ryan O'Neal.
Never seen it.
Dude, you need to sort that out because this movie is flippin' hilarious. It holds up today because the comedy is so witty and it's fast. It's a rom-com that actually works and it's family friendly also. Right. Like it is, I think it's PG rated. There's nothing... You know what I mean? So the whole family, regardless of their age, can sit there. There's slapstick in it and everything. So there you go.
Nice.
The next one, Remember the Titans?
Oh, great film.
Yeah.
Great.
And then the last one, which was what Elijah Talbot had gotten, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
I think that's the one I got. I didn't get the Titans either. Damn it. It's been a long time since I've seen that one.
Yeah. It had been for me too. I was looking up something else at some point, and I saw a clip of the movie, and I'm like, ooh, yes, I remember. Yeah, just brought everything back. Yeah.
Have you got some new ones for us this week?
I do.
Okay.
Maybe they're easy. Maybe they're not. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So the first one. You ready?
Yeah.
Oh wait, the loud car is driving by my house. Okay, there we go. Give me a liter of cola. Okay. I don't think that rang any bells for you there.
No, none at all.
It's the last half of the quote that begins a whole conversation.
Okay.
Okay. Number 2. Oh, George, not the livestock.
Okay. Yep.
All right. Number 3. Now, this is a conversation between two people, so it's line.
Right.
Okay, just so you understand.
Yeah.
I'm not getting in that boat. Fine. See you in 3 days. You know I can't swim. Hence the boat.
Oh, man, I know that.
You know this movie.
I know this movie. Like, I
totally
know this movie.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I have an idea. I could be wrong. Yeah. Oh, okay. Let us know in the comments if Chris is fired. And I will.
If this was my last one, I've gone out with a bang. Hey, there you go.
or if you've guessed the three, well done. We will. Yeah, as always, talk about who won next week in next week's podcast. I have a question for you, Chris.
Sweet.
I've actually got two because the first one's a silly. In fact, they're both really silly.
Nice.
Okay, so pizza comes in a square box. Pizza is round. Why?
I think it's so that you can get your hand in there.
Right.
You know what I mean? At
that
the
actually
corners.
makes sense because you would be like scooping sideways and you'd be like, oh.
Yes. Oh. But you bring up a great point that is a terrible use of space.
Exactly.
Because there is all of this extra spot where I could have food.
You could have square pizza.
Yeah,
but then you have the same issues. Yeah. You could have wedges on the side or dips.
This is true. Well, and Pizza Hut a couple of years ago did this one during the Super Bowl where it was like really long and it was all cut into like rectangles.
Right.
And it came with like, I think 3 different types of toppings that you could get. And then it had a whole bunch of dipping sauces.
Right.
There was nothing healthy about this thing. I mean, it was disgusting and greasy, and it was so delicious.
It sounds good.
So, yeah, no, it was really good. And I think way back in the day, do you guys have Little Caesars over?
No.
Okay. Way back, I mean, like I'm talking when I was in like late elementary or maybe even early junior high, Little Caesars had just come out, and you got 2 pizzas when you bought a pizza. They didn't sell it like individually. And so it came on this giant, like cardboard thing with a big paper bag over it, which is for transporting them. It's just stupid. But I'm pretty sure they were square pizzas also because it made it easier in the box and everything. So it was.
All right. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Well, let us know in the comments below. Why are the pizzas boxes square? Is it an angle thing? Or is there an actual reason? Somebody might know.
Yeah.
Second silly question. You eat ice cream, right, Chris?
I shouldn't, but yes, I do.
Can you eat ice cream with your bare hands?
Yeah.
Okay. Just like dip in.
Yeah,
no
but there's
cone.
also like
just ice cream and then
yeah, well, sure. I mean, it's gross, and nobody else is going to want to eat after me. But there's also the practical sides of like the Klondike bar. You know, I mean, that's ice cream dipped in chocolate. That, you know,
I guess.
Yeah, but no, I would have to be pretty desperate, I think, to try and scoop that out because you're not going to get a lot, depending on how thawed the ice cream is.
That's true.
You know, if it's straight out of the freezer and it's got a good solid to it, I mean, I struggle with like a spoon or an ice cream scoop. So I mean, my fingers aren't going to
dig your fingernails into there.
See, that's just unsanitary.
Yeah, I mean, you're leaving your follicles of your skin left behind for the other person. Have you washed your hands recently? Like, what are you putting into that ice cream?
Yeah.
So unsanitary.
Yeah. And see, I love ice cream, but my family, they don't like it when I run out of the type of ice cream I want and I have a hankering for ice cream because I will eat their ice cream and complain about it the entire time.
This is the worst.
No, I did. I was sitting there eating some, I hate mint chocolate chip ice cream. It's like chalk and just, it's disgusting. But I was eating it out of the carton, complaining the entire time because I didn't have any of my ice cream. And so I was eating it. I was like, this is nasty. Why are you eating it? Because I want ice cream. This is disgusting. How do you people eat this? And
oh, dear.
Just, they're getting mad because I'm eating their ice cream. Just...
All right, everybody that loves mint chocolate chip, let us know in the comments why Chris is wrong, and what is the best ice cream flavor.
Ooh, the best ice cream flavor. That's
Rocky Road's pretty good.
See, I don't do peanuts.
Oh.
I don't like nuts in my ice cream.
Okay.
Which I'm weird that way. I'm probably in the minority.
I like a soft caramel like down the center, and you have to kind of find it. Yeah.
That's
chocolate fudge, maybe.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
dude, you made me hungry.
Pizza and
it's
ice
like
cream.
8 a.m. where I'm at.
Oh my gosh. Let's get into the best thing we watched.
Yes.
What's first on your agenda? Sounds like a business meeting. What's first on the agenda?
All right, I've called you all here today. No, okay, so I watch a lot of documentaries, just, enjoy them. A lot of them typically are true crime documentaries. This one came out on Hulu, which is new for me because most of the documentaries I watch are either Netflix or sometimes Amazon.
Yeah.
This one, though, and it's called Stolen Youth, Inside the Cult at Sarah Lawrence.
Yeah. It's a mouthful.
I didn't know anything about this. Did you get a chance to see this?
I haven't seen it, but it's out in the UK on Stars. Yeah. Which is Disney.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And Hulu is Disney here. So that's okay. Good to know. This is it's a college where one of the students' father is moves in with a whole bunch of roommates, and he slowly manipulates all of them, and it becomes harrowing at what the interactions that go on there. It's 3 episodes, which for me normally I kind of balk at. I'm like, I don't know if you need it.
Why have you stretched this out, sort of thing?
Exactly, and they're each over. I think they're over each an hour, if I remember correctly.
Okay, so it's fairly lengthy.
It's hefty, yeah. And I was riveted the entire time.
It's good, is it? Okay.
Oh, it is. Well, and it's so sad, and it's and it's disturbing. And I had to check myself a lot of the time because I'm like, it's easy to look from the outside in and go, this is absolutely ridiculous. Why in the world would you even believe this or do this or anything else? But then the logical part of me and a little bit of empathy would come in to be like, you know what? This isn't something like the dude just showed up and started saying, well, tell me about this and then do this. It was slowly over time. And he first establishes himself as a helper. As somebody, as a confidant, as somebody who can bring wisdom to a conversation, to a situation. And then it becomes, he's absolutely controlling, and then he's extorting from them. And then he's, the stories that come, that we hear, interviews, not only from former roommates who were able to see kind of what was going on and they bailed, to then interviews with people who were stuck in it and who were there for a decade. I mean, you know what I mean? So we're talking well past school, you know what I mean? They just and then you have, because this dude was weird and he was paranoid, he would video and or audio record so many of their interactions. So we have
actual footage.
Yes.
That's crazy.
So oh my gosh, it's so
dark.
bizarre. Oh, it's very dark. I mean, it makes you weary of, who do I let into my life? Who do I listen to? I think back to that, there was that Netflix documentary that had that dude who said he was in MI6 or MI5.
Yeah,
do you remember that one?
Awful. Yeah.
Yeah, he was able to manipulate people and then grift off of them, and
for years.
Still, right? I mean, isn't he still kind of
still
on the run
that.
or whatever? Yeah. So it reminded me in ways of that, because this dude claims to be within psyops. So he's, he's very, he knows how to manipulate people. I mean, he's got pictures though of him with Gorbachev. So this is not like just some random dude off of the street. I mean, he was with powerful people at some points, you know, and if you like, well, okay, I got to preface that because I didn't know anything about this, everything I saw was brand new. And so it was very just eye-opening and insightful.
Okay.
If there have been other documentaries, I don't know on this, or if there's been other widespread information on this case, then maybe this doesn't really shed much new light on things. But for me, I mean, I was like, holy crap, you know, and because it's only 3 hours, if I think of it in terms of a movie or a series, it's not that long. You know, we binge those things really easily. So, yeah, wow. I don't know. If you want something dark and kind of just, and I think more dark because it's real life. Yeah, there you go. So.
Okay, going from something really dark to something much lighter. There's a film coming out digitally. It may be out in the US already, but I think it came out to cinemas like on November, but it's coming out digitally. I don't know how many people, because I heard almost nobody talk about this, but in Australia, this is filmed. It's called Seriously Red. It's a realtor pursues a new career as Dolly Parton impersonator. We have Crew Bolin as Red. There's other like Bobby Cannavale, Thomas Campbell. It's a really interesting look at an impersonator's life. You take a person who has a dead-end office job. It doesn't really fit anywhere, and she's one of those people that doesn't really fit into her own skin. But when she becomes Dolly, she becomes alive, and she's, you know, a pretty damn good singer. And then she enters the world of impersonators and actually does really well at it. But at the same time, she, again, is not being herself. She's being someone else. She's being Dolly Parton. She's been very good at Dolly Parton. So there's this whole kind of journey of her character. By the time you get to the end, it's one of those character journeys of there's growth. But it's just, I guess it's broken up through Dolly Parton songs, Dolly Parton competitions, and then like these captions of some stuff that Dolly Parton would say that would teach you about life. So it's all hindering on what Dolly Parton would do, and then you just go on this journey. And I think part of it, the reason I enjoyed it was Crew Bolin, who plays Red. Her character in like just the way she acts, her Australian character is so flamboyant and alive. You totally understand why she wouldn't fit in a normal office job. She can't really contain her energy. And then like coming alive in Dolly Parton, but also not really knowing. I think you can relate. There's a lot of relatable stuff in this film. Not that I've ever wanted to be a Dolly Parton impersonator, but not finding your place in this world, you know, not fitting in your own skin or finding your people. I think that is a message that everybody understands. And because it's indie, it's not like a big budget Hollywood blockbuster, but it has that sort of quirkiness and dialogue humor with drama that the Australians do really well, the Australians and New Zealand. And so that comes across really well. So by the time it comes to the end, you're just like, yeah, that's a good one-time watch. I enjoyed the acting, I enjoyed the story, and it leaves you feeling better rather than worse off.
Nice. I don't know how true it is, but I've seen it online in memes a bunch of times that Dolly Parton once lost a Dolly Parton lookalike contest.
That would be amazing. If someone was so good at being her, better at being her. Hilarious.
Oh man. Well, that sounds like a fun movie.
Yeah.
And it's not a documentary, right? I mean, it's like a drama.
Yeah, it's a drama. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Seriously Red. I'll have to look for that. Nice. Okay. Next on my list, you actually watched part of this series. I don't know if you finished it or not, because I don't think that you enjoyed it. It's a Turkish series. It actually came out a few weeks ago, and it's called Shahmaran. I knew it. The look on your face. Okay. So I need to preface this.
Wait. This isn't the best thing you watched?
I didn't watch a lot this week. No. But let me. you have to want to like this show. You have to want to dive into the world, because this reminded me, there was another Turkish series a couple years ago that started, and it was called Atiye. And it was, it had like spiritual aspects to it and supernatural and kind of just, or mythology within there. And it intrigued me. Now that series couldn't stick the landing. It got lost in its own narrative and just kind of fell off the rails, even though I wanted it to be solid.
Yeah.
Okay. This one, first off, did you finish the show?
Oh, I'm not going back to watch this nonsense.
I was intrigued by the mythology of it.
Okay.
That the general premise is that there is this this woman who comes back and finds her maternal grandfather. She lives with him, but they were estranged. They have just a very tumultuous relationship because he supposedly left her mother way back when the mother was a child. They live across the street from this very eclectic and very weird family, where you have a father, these three sisters who are wildly odd. They kind of made me laugh and smirk because of their mannerisms and some of the ways that they go about things. But there's also a son, and supposedly there's a prophecy that surrounds the son, and it's vague through so much of the series. Did you understand what was going on through the part that you watched?
Yeah, honestly, didn't care. It was so slow. It's the slowest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like,
oh, no.
Seriously.
No, that's not even, no, I've watched so many slow. So I do agree. I think that they could have told a faster story, because there's a lot in here that drags out portions of the narrative, because it's so vague through a lot of it that you don't actually know exactly what's going on and why there's tension between characters and tension between families. And the guy who is the brother that lives across the street from the girl, his name is Maran. Her name is Shasu. And I don't want to give anything away, because I did end up enjoying it. I'm hesitant for where it's going, because it takes us. It doesn't really end. It takes us up to a climax and then goes to the credits, and you're like, dang it, come on, you took all of this series to get me to this point. You really should have gotten me there a lot faster. And then continued on.
Someone in my comments said, I know how to make this series work. He said, after watching the first 2 episodes, I managed to do this. Watch the beginning and end of each episode. Those are the best bits. It says there's a bit of catch up, and then something happens at the end of the episode, and that's all you need. Everything else in between is filler. I was like, oh, wow. Oh, I wonder if that's true.
Well, see, I think you lose out on some of the emotional bits within there, because there is a progression, and then by the end, there's a couple of reveals, and you're like, oh wow, okay, I didn't really see that coming. Especially because they haven't explained a lot of it. Sometimes they just touch on a tiny little piece here or a tiny piece here.
Yeah.
The last episode is definitely, okay, you could probably cut out 3 episodes completely if you were to just take some of that information and smash it in, you know what I mean? And not make any of the episodes longer, just condense everything.
Yeah.
But I think it was the intrigue in it that really sucked me in.
The lore I like, but I think they don't give us enough lore. Or that, like, when we start seeing some supernatural elements in there, that's when I went, oh, that's cool. Check the dude's eyes out, or, stuff like that. Yeah. I wanted more of that, but there was very few and far between from what I watched. And I was just like, you were taking so long to get to the bits of the stuff that I'm finding interesting, that for me to spend 35 minutes to 40 minutes just on listening to your drama without it actually furthering the story, I'm just like, come on. And I get that. So I went to Netflix and I burnt the series. So
that's a legitimate critique and concern. Because I do agree. They could have told a more efficient story. Absolutely. And the reason I say that you have to like this, like you have to want to like this. You have to want to be in the world. And hey, Loki.
Sorry. Loki's like, you will
butt.
pay attention to me now. You have to want to like cat butt. Yeah.
Yes. Now see, I truly get cat butt at that point. That's awesome. Oh, do we need to censor this? I don't know. Luckily, he's black, so it's all good. So you can't really tell. There's not a lot of definition there.
Loki, piss off. Thank you.
That was awesome. Anybody that has a cat knows instantly what just happened because he
Cat's
the
gonna
keyboard
cat.
and the thing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. So anyway, yeah, I know you especially are wondering why the heck, Chris, you're a moron. Why do you have
Guys,
this
just
on
like
your list?
Chris, of all the things at the time you spent, I don't know why I've gone old man. Chris, of all the things you decided to go and watch this, I'm gonna challenge you to a hold down. Let's do some line dancing. All right.
Oh goodness. Well, I think here's the deal. If you enjoy Turkish series and you like some mythology and you don't mind having to wait, I think like patient for the show to really just draw itself out, then this can be fun. I think this is even a good casual watch, not as in I can be on my phone type of casual watch, but as something that like I'm going to watch over the course of 2 weeks.
Or if you're struggling with insomnia, you need something to put you to sleep. Just saying.
Fair enough. We are allowed to disagree on things.
We do disagree on this, Chris, immensely.
I'm buying you the series on Blu-ray for Christmas.
I did nothing to deserve that. Oh.
Okay. What? Okay. What's next on your list?
And now to something actually good. Not that I'm biased. Okay. The Exchange is a new Netflix series from Kuwait. It's the first of its kind, as far as I'm aware. Set in Kuwait in 1988, two women making their way to the boys' club of the Kuwait Stock Exchange on the eve of Saddam Hussein's invasion of the country. There's 6 episodes. They're 50 minutes apiece. And never in a million years did I think you could make the stock exchange look exciting. And boy, I was riveted from beginning to end. This is like, if you're a woman and you've experienced sexism in like the first world model, you've not experienced sexism until you're like in the late 80s in Kuwait, doing a man's job, that's what, like, no woman. They're the first 2 women ever in Kuwait to work for the stock exchange as a female and try and work their way up from clerk to broker in the middle of, while they're about to be like in war and attacked, and then seeing how they react to the US stock exchange and everything that goes hand in hand. So in one story, you've got the adventures of what it means and the bickering and the it's not so much bickering, but it's being smarter than the other banks and trying to buy and sell at the right time. All of that is really interesting, and seeing how they deal with that as women. It's also our 2 main protagonists. They are related, they're cousins, but they're like frenemies. So that you have this butting of heads. They want to outwit each other and that's really exciting to watch because they're friends, but they're also trying to like be better than each other. And then you have their lifestyles of like one's going through a divorce and, all the culture specific stuff with them not even wearing the coverings that they should do. All of that comes into the culture. The daughter, there's lots of like 2 relationships, like the daughter and mother going through they're going through a divorce and seeing how the daughter relates to no longer having that dynamic in the family. And then there's the family of the guy that owns a newspaper and what he's dealing with and what he knows, all that information that you can take to a stock exchange. What are you going to do to better yourself? Or are you going to take information you've learned from your family at the risk of your family's business going under? There's all of that kind of intrigue that goes into it. then you get an amazing score. Like, I was so impressed with the score. It's not something that I normally go, hey, look at the score. The score was a thing that really felt like it was atmospheric. By the time you get to hear the score piece at the end of each episode, you're like, oh, I can't wait to watch the next episode. And then the acting was flipping great. Like, no one was weak. There was no person that was like, I was so surprised. I think maybe I went in watching this like from Kuwait. I've seen some stuff, world cinema from Netflix, that sometimes just isn't great. It just feels like it just needs to be filmed better, or someone needs to teach them the sort of techniques that we have now. Maybe they knew coming into this world of cinema or TV, you know, they have a set way of doing TV drama, straight to DVD sort of drama, like soaps, like all those soaps we've had, you know, for years that just aren't great, but people watch them because they are on every day and they get to know the characters. So there's a bunch of stuff like that on Netflix that isn't great. So I went in with with a little bit of a lower expectation, not really knowing what to expect. Came out going, this was awesome. This is really good. Very entertaining. There you go. All the words.
I started the series. I'm only just a little bit in, because when I started it, I just then didn't have the opportunity to focus, so I needed to turn it off.
Yeah, you do have to focus, yeah.
The two women, is it at the auction in the first episode, is it the two that are kind of next to each other that are kind of ribbing each other? The one who's like very elegant and okay.
One's all about aesthetics, how you look. Yeah, it's all very prominent and part of that. And having money is a big culture thing. Yeah.
Okay. That's funny that it's about the stock exchange, because I didn't know anything about it. Huh? I didn't read the synopsis or anything going in. So I thought, because you have rich person, because when she shows up in that first episode, I mean, people are taking pictures. She's coming out of like a limo or something. Yeah, just like, and then you have the other one who's going through the divorce, who is struggling financially, and it's been very established that, I mean, she is not where she once was or where she wants to be. And I thought they were going to switch lives. I thought, because
that's hilarious.
They look similar. Like, I was like, they could be sisters. They could, and I mean, so they're cousins, right?
Yeah,
is that what you said?
Cousins.
So that's, I mean, so they've chosen two actresses who they resemble each other. I mean, they're not identical by any means, but I just thought maybe it would be
so interesting. Your brain went there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, and see, and that's tells you how much I didn't watch. I mean, I've only seen a little tiny chunk of it, and but okay. Well, I'm glad it's good.
It's really entertaining. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Well, I will have to revisit it then.
Let me just let my cat out before he knocks over the camera.
Okay.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
It's Kirsten's problem now.
You deal with the crazy cat.
Yeah.
Oh, funny.
All right, so what's next on your list?
This one, so I'm late to the party in this because this has been out in the theater for a couple of weeks. It hit Sundance, but I didn't get to see it at Sundance because it only premiered live in person. It wasn't available for the
live and in person.
Exactly. Okay. So it's called Infinity Pool. It is the Mia Goth, Alexander Skarsgård.
Love the cast. Mia Goth and Alexander Skarsgård alone would have had me. Yeah.
It's Brandon Cronenberg directing.
Yeah.
Did you see Possessor?
No, but I knew enough to stay away from it.
Okay, then you're going to want to stay away from this.
Yeah, that's why I said in the comments when I watched your review, looks great. Not sure this movie's for me.
Yeah, I can see how a lot of people will not enjoy this. It's, if you take it just on its surface level, it's very disturbing. Okay. It's very grotesque in certain things and discombobulating. You have this couple who is on vacation in this at this island in this country. It's a fictional island.
Oh, it's not a real island. Okay.
It's not a real island, yeah, but the environment is such that the resort is surrounded by fence and armed guards with razor wire at the top to keep the people who live on the island out.
Okay.
And also to keep the people in the resort in and safe.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird there. Like, why would you choose to go to this place, regardless of how beautiful the beach may be or the environments? You still are there in this place where you are keeping everybody else out who actually lives there, to such a degree. So they meet another couple, and something occurs, which then leads to some consequences. That is very vague, and that is a stupid description. But
nice.
I don't want to give it away because, like, I went in, excuse me, I didn't know anything. I hadn't seen a trailer on purpose, didn't read the synopsis on purpose. And so everything that I saw was shocking. It was like, wow. Okay. The ideas are, they're deep, kind of, really. I mean, and they're disturbing. So on its surface, it's like this thriller horror, just kind of visceral type of disgusting experience. If you sit with it for just a second and you actually look at it and think about what you're watching, it's incredibly deep, and it's very biting, and it's really well told for the point that it's making. Like, I had somebody in the audience when the credits started, they just stood up and they yelled out, "What the heck did we just watch? Did anybody else understand that?" And I'm like, okay, you stupid Americans, sit down and shut up. I had people down at the other end of the aisle from us who were talking the entire time through. It just pissed me off. I mean, this is not a movie that's like entertaining. It's not a popcorn movie. This is a deep, dark, disturbing film with a really excellent point to it, that is wrapped in a horrifying and disgusting package. And I say that as a massive positive. I mean, it's not, I'm not using disgusting as like, you shouldn't watch this. I mean, I loved it, especially because of the messaging within there. The acting is phenomenal. I mean, you've got Alexander Skarsgård, who is, he is like, you watch two progressions. He is timid and just kind of reserved at the beginning of the movie. And then throughout the middle of that, he's not that way. And then he has some character growth moments towards the end, maybe. Mia Goth, though, is outgoing. She's bubbly. She's nice and sweet. She's a little weird. And you can tell that she's very flirty also. Then there is this moment where she is unhinged. Like, the look on her face, the expression, I mean, it just changes, like, and you're like, oh, you are bad news. It was awesome to watch because from a social commentary standpoint, absolutely, hands down, this is one to absolutely watch. I would not watch this with your children or with your parents, because there could be uncomfortable sex scenes that you may not want to have to either sit through or explain to your children.
Right.
But other than that, I love the movie. It was disturbing. It bothered me, but I liked that because it made me think and it caused discussion afterwards.
Okay. I like those movies that make you talk about it afterwards.
Yeah.
Awesome. Might give it a go when it comes to streaming. Don't think it'll be a cinema one for me.
I get that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, especially because you can take a break if you need to. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What you got?
Yeah, staying with the fairly dark, but not nearly as dark as that, is a fourth season of You came out this week. The first 5 episodes, the second batch come out in March 9th. I really liked this first 5 episodes. I think it's the strongest it's been in a long time, namely because they've changed up the formula, which I think they really had to. Remember, I had an issue when I was watching 3 and then they announced 4. It was I was like, you've taken all the wind out of my sails, because now he's going to survive anyway. There's no suspense anymore. So whatever happens, he survives. There's going to be season 4. Thankfully, they haven't done that yet for this one. But this is largely a dude now that's trying to change his skin. Like he's no longer wanting to be a leopard. He wants to be a tiger or something. He wants to not be that guy he was before. We still get a massive amount of inner monologue from Joe. But he's taken on a different persona. He's trying to be somebody else because of all the stuff that's happened before. He needs to be someone else. And there's a little bit of connection to what has happened in the previous season, but mostly he's in London this time, and he's with the elites of the elites. He's acting as a professor, and he ends up like with the top 1% of these guys. I would say it's the sons and daughters of politicians. They're princesses and princesses and like daughters of like the people that control the world, sort of thing. Very, very rich, really past the people you love to hate because they look down on everybody. And so most of the time you are hearing him monologue about how disgusting that person is, and you totally agree with him. So when stuff starts happening, you're like, cool. You're kind of on Joe's side, which is a weird feeling to have because he's the bad guy. The best thing about this, though, there's a majority of the episodes that are at a different location, like a big manor house. It's basically a mansion, which is, for England. I'm going to go into my estate, my lodgings, which is like, it's just a huge mansion. And then it's a whodunit. And that I didn't expect. So you get to be on Joe's side as he's trying to figure out a whodunit thing, and you think you know, but then you don't. It's very good because Joe knows how to deal with the stuff because he's done all the stuff before. So you're with him investigating it, but you don't really know what's going on and where this is going to lead for the next 5 episodes. Really interesting, really fun.
That's cool. That's having like a whodunit mystery within there. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
I would probably, though, have to see the first 3 seasons to really understand what's
Kirsten watched them with me, and she's not seen them, and she loved it. So I thought, this is really good. Yeah.
Okay. Because, I mean, the reason, as you know, that I've stayed away from the series, I haven't seen any of it, is because I read the book. And the book was gnarly. Yeah. I mean, it was like, so I didn't want to... When I heard the series, I was like, I don't need to revisit this world.
I mean, you just watched Infinity Pool.
Yeah, but see, I didn't read the story beforehand. It's not like I did it to myself twice. But I do love a good mystery. So maybe that would be something fun. I'll probably wait. If I'm going to watch it, I'll probably wait until part 2 comes out, just so that I can see it all at once, because I'm not invested in the character because I don't like the character from reading the book. So
that makes sense. Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Anything else?
No, that's all that I got.
Okay. I got one quick one to talk about.
Nice.
This is actually coming out on Valentine's Day. So next week. I think that's next week.
Yeah. No, this week. Coming up this week.
Oh,
as you're listening to the podcast.
Yeah. Coming this week, it's Harley Quinn, a very problematic Valentine's Day special. So what's fun about this is that if you've never watched any of the animation series, there's been 3 up until now, I think this might be a good way for you to be introduced into what they've created with Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. So they're a couple. And it's a nice 45-minute episode, so it's a special on Valentine's Day, and in amongst the story that goes on it, we have these interviews with what all the characters are being interviewed, how they came to be a couple, and it's hilarious because there's couples from the DC world and from the characters you've seen in Harley Quinn's world that you just wouldn't expect to be a couple, or you'll question as to how do they even, because some of the characters that you get into DC are crazy. But in the story, so Harley wants to make Valentine's Day the best Valentine's Day ever for Poison Ivy. She feels a pressure, so she's going to go far out, and in the crazy way that she does. And because of something she does, it kind of connects with Poison Ivy in a way she wasn't expecting, whatever she does. And this big adventure ensues, which ends up being just chaos around the whole city. If you've ever seen Legend of the Overfiend, or you've never heard it, it's an anime film that at one stage has a monster of giant willies destroying skyscrapers. It doesn't get as crazy as that, but it reminded me of that. This sort of tongue-in-cheek, giant things crashing through cities and sexy stuff happening. I was laughing a lot. It went to places I wasn't expecting it to. A lot of fun, but also at the heart of it is the Valentine's Day story.
So is this one kid-friendly?
No. It's teen and up, that's for sure.
Teen and up, okay. Yeah. Funny. All right. No, I've never watched the any of the animated series. So
I mean, it's worth watching alone just for the voice casting. If you go and look on IMDb, the voice actors are brilliant, and people Yeah.
Oh, good. Right on.
Yeah, cool. That's all of the best thing I've watched this week.
Okay. Well, hey, thank you so much for joining us. Please like, share, subscribe. Ruben with the Ruby Tuesday. Me, Chris, Movies and Munchies. Don't forget, we have a Patreon opportunity at patreon.com/thebeardedones, where just for a few dollars a month, you can help offset the cost of production of this podcast. And check out all the different tiers that we have available, like God Mode, which that sounds weird and awesome all at the same time. We'd love to have you join that one. You can always tweet at us at Best We Watched. And for the audio version, if you want more of what you're seeing here, more of the ridiculousness, more of just, we're going to review a movie specifically on that and that portion. We're also going to talk about entertainment news and a lot of the releases that are coming up this week. As we talked about, this past week has been kind of thin. This next week is ridiculous. So there are a lot of things to hit up there. With that, hey, we thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Take care.